It's starting to look like Christmas. The old missus had me take down the Christmas ornaments, and now I got a mess in my garage. That's fine. But not to mention, it's raining outside, and it's actually kind of warm in the garage today, and we're at the end of November, so welcome to the South. So, with that being said, let's get to work on this project. So I really enjoy like going out, yard sales, Facebook Marketplace, stuff like that. And even now and then you run into estate sales. And estate sales, you could get a steal of a deal. And a lot of times I find that people just judge a book by its cover. Like this. I paid $20 for this box of parts. It's actually not the power supply. And this computer. Of course, no specs, no nothing like that. You just kind of walk up and look, ask how much they want. They said $20, and I'm like, sure, that's fine. I don't know what I'm buying, but I just took a quick glance. I saw this old Asus motherboard, the tough one. Saw that it had 1, 2, 3, 4 sticks of memory, so it probably has 16 gigs, I would assume. But for the most part, from what I was able to see in there, I think I could make some money out of it. So let's see what we got and everything, because I actually haven't gone through everything, and let's see if I can build a computer. So first glance, Corsair CX600, that's pretty decent. Got a drive in here, and not sure what it is, but I mean, we got a drive. The motherboard, I'm thinking Z97, maybe Z170. No, definitely not with Z170. So probably Z87, Z97. Oh, there we go. It's the Corsair Griffin Z87. So if that's Intel 3rd, 4th gen, if I'm not mistaken, then that's good. Depending on the CPU I have in here, I could be scoring big. And if not, I have other CPUs. So let's just take this out. This thing is like really, and I mean really stuck in here. There we go. Okay. Man, this thermal paste is like tar. I know you can't see it, but it's an i3 4th gen. Rats. But I think I have a i7 4th gen that I could pop in here, so that will actually pretty good. Let's get this backside open. Kind of enjoy this. You know, you buy a random computer and see what you get, you know? It's kind of like mystery toys, Happy Meal toys. I don't know. Yep. Lots and lots of wires. I'm more curious on the size of this hard drive. If it's a 1 terabyte, then that's a good score too, because that could be a game drive. Yep, Seagate 1 terabyte. It's a pretty good score. Just gonna pretend I didn't see that. Leave that alone. And the memory, well, how do you get this thing out? What in the world? Okay, that won't come out. Wow, this is tall memory. 16 gigs, 4x4. So yeah, 16 gigs of memory, DDR3, 1600. So, all right, at least we have 16 gigs of memory. So we got a memory, we got power supply. Don't know if this works. So we're doing good. Let's see what's in this box. I think there was a video card in here, if I'm not mistaken. That's why I just kind of grabbed it. Oh yeah. 750 Ti. I don't know why it's in the box, but that's good. 120 gig SATA, some fans, some extra memory in here. And a CPU cooler at that. So, ooh, what's this? Well, I'll be. That's an i7 4th gen, so it's kind of weird. It's like they bought everything and then just gave up, or maybe something wasn't working, or maybe the motherboard's dead, or maybe the power supply is dead. But it's like they were trying to fix this and re-salvage it or whatever. So I think what I need to do now is just give it some juice and see if it turns on. That's the nice thing about these Intel CPUs. Integrated graphics. You got power. Maybe you have to flip that on. Power button. Okay. It works. i3 4160, 16 gigs of memory. Of course, I did unplug the hard drive, so that's fine. So this thing works. Interesting. I mean, yes, this is preliminary and we haven't done any bench testing or stability or anything like that. Maybe it was overheating because of that tar-like thermal paste. I don't know. So I think what I'm going to do is clean this thing up, put this together, and get this thing ready for sale. So now the amount of dirt in here is actually not that bad. This thing actually seems like it wasn't used much. So I'm just going to do a quick dust over with it, wipe it down with a brush, and just give it a good wiping, and it should be good to go. And then we'll go ahead and put the rest of these parts in. So let's get to cleaning. So now what I'm going to do is actually going to clean up this cable management over here. It's a little not to be desired. I'm not an expert by no means, and it just needs to be a little more organized. So this NZXT Phantom case has the integrated fans into them. Well, a fan controller. I'm actually going to keep it, as they have, I think, 1, 2, they got 3 fans in it. And I see 2 other fans that possibly had some RGB. And we all know that RGB makes your computer faster. So I think I'm gonna kind of get all that working and see what we can do. Kind of clean this up, get rid of wires that we don't need, which we got the Molex, but actually, never mind. We got Molex for this fan, so let me clean this up. That's still pretty gross. Maybe I need to do a more in-depth cleaning than I thought. I'm gonna take out this front fan. Popping these Freeze Mod fans. They're blue. They're the 3-pin, so they'll work fine. So now it's got this scratch. Not sure what it is, but typically what I find for these superficial scratches or marks that won't come off, I'll take a little WD-40. Don't take much. A magic eraser. And typically you can buff these things out. Now by using the WD-40, it acts like a lubricant and prevents it from really scratching. It acts more like a buffing. And we can make this look a little bit better. And I do this all the time for those scratches to kind of smooth them out. Now of course if the scratch is a lot deeper, this is not going to work. But as you can see, it's better than what it was. So quick tip in case you have a case with those type of scratches. So a lot of cleaning off camera. Just, it was dirtier than I thought, but it's looking a lot better. Wiped it with the alcohol, cleaned up the front panel, which the front panel looks a lot better. It's shining. Got rid of some of those deep scratches with that method. So now, graphics card, CPU cooler, and an SSD. So this one has the factory Intel one, which I guess that works fine for the i3, but considering that this thing had a i7, I think this is a 4770, kind of tucked away over here, and it had this one, this ID, well, nope, not ID, this CoolStorm cooler. I've never used it, don't know much about it, but I'm gonna pop it in and see. It might be better than this one, it might not. We'll check the temps once I get this thing going. So let's install the cooler, get the hard drive in, and then we're gonna find out about this 750 Ti. I'm gonna go with this because, well, that's what it has. And I'll talk about some of my reasonings for kind of not changing and just going with what I got over here. But I don't know much about this graphics card, and I haven't tried it yet. What I will do is take it apart, clean it, give it a nice fresh thermal paste, and then we'll try it. I mean, if it works, it works. If it doesn't, we'll figure out something else. So let's get this cooler in there. So this cooler sucks, and maybe it's just not meant for this, but if I put it over here, you see this clip? It's going to interfere with the PCI Express. And if I put it the other way, well, maybe over here, I can't get it on if I put it that way, actually, now that I think about it, because I tried that. Maybe this is why they gave up on the project. Who knows? Or maybe the CPU is bad. Don't know. I'm going to play with this and see what I come up with. Things changed. That cooler did not work, so I had this one, and I actually got this cooler from that $500 computer, in which I paid $500, got like 2 monitors, i7-9700, a 2080 Super during the whole GPU apocalypse, and the $500 was actually to get somebody out of jail, so that was actually pretty cool. But that cooler did not work good for that 9700 in my opinion, but it'll work perfect for this 4th gen. And actually looking back, I think that was just an issue with that motherboard. It was sketchy, didn't trust it. But anyways, yeah, so the cooler work over here. The other cooler, no matter which way I put it, it was either going to block one RAM stick or block this PCIe port. Was not about that. So this will work. I changed the power supply to this GameMax one. I've actually had this lying around for quite a while. This is not the one that catches fire and causes all the issues and everything. And considering that this is a low budget build, this is perfect. It's an 850 watch, which is probably way more overkill than what this computer needs, but it's fine. And that Corsair one, I'm actually going to use it for another project. Not to mention that the aesthetics of the black versus the ketchup and mustard, it's going to look a lot more pleasing to the eye. So that's the way we're going to go with. Now all that's left is our graphics card. And like I said before I pop this in, I don't know if this works. I don't see any signs of physical damage. It's just kind of dirty. I'm going to take it apart, put fresh thermal paste on it, and then pop it in. If it works, then I've already knocked out the thermal paste and I'm good to go. And if it doesn't work, then I'll find another graphics card I have lying around here. So I'm not going to use my iFixit toolkit because I don't feel like taking it out. And, well, all I think I need to do is just take out these 4 screws and this will come apart. Typically when I buy these used, I run them as is and test them, but I didn't buy this one. This one, well, I technically did buy it, but it was actually included with this whole thing. So let's try to small little card. Thermal paste is dried up. I'm actually gonna wipe it off this way. Take my brush and just brush everything off. All right, from a box of junk and just a computer that I paid, actually it was $40. I had to check my Cash App because that whole place did the whole Cash App thing, and $40, not too bad. A couple of changes, like I said, we had to do. Just the power supply, swapped it out because I want that other power supply, and also the RGB cells and the aesthetics is going to look a lot better on it. Not to mention that CPU fan that it came with. The stock one, of course, was not going to hold up for the i7 4th gen, but that other one just would not fit, and I really didn't want to go with 8 gigs of memory or just try to come up with another idea. So specs: i7 4770, 750 Ti, 2 gigs of VRAM, 850 watt power supply, 1 terabyte mechanical drive, 120 gig SSD just for the whole Windows, and I guess for the nostalgia, and primarily because I don't have the cover for it, a DVD-ROM. So that's pretty cool. And of course, this is the NZXT Phantom case. I love these cases. I actually hate the fact that I am going to be selling this, and I'll talk about price and how I figure this out, but these are just freaking awesome cases, and they don't make them like they used to. So what better way to kind of get this computer started and get it ready for sale than benchmarking the whole Fortnite. So we're at 1080p. I think it's a combination of low and medium settings, averaging 50 frames per second, and just depending on the scene, it actually stays pretty stable. And the 750 Ti, I love this card. It runs fantastic. Still a decent card for people trying to get their feet wet. And as we play, eventually, I mean, we go up to 60. I've seen that 70 sometimes, but I would say our average probably is going to be about 50 frames per second. But no stutters, run smooth. Just blew myself up because, well, I don't really play this game. And for the simple fact that I could state that it plays Fortnite at almost 60 frames per second, it will sell. Not to mention this computer is upgradable, and we'll talk about that in just a sec. So the minimum requirement, Fortnite in my area, checks the boxes. This thing is good. It's ready to go. Nice and quiet. Temperatures are good, and very happy with it. So I got it for $40, which is a steal of a deal considering, yes, some may argue it's 4th gen DDR3, but $40 is actually a real good deal. Now, the way I would sell this is that I will get on the marketplace, eBay, just kind of gauge where the market is right now, and I'll probably try to sell this quick just to move it because this is kind of big, and it would go between $200 to $300. So if the market value of this thing is going for let's just say, just throwing numbers out there, going for $300, I'll undercut and probably just go for $250, and if somebody makes me an offer for $220, I'll go ahead and get it, which still is like $180 profit, which is not bad considering an hour's worth of work, and $40 into it, not a bad deal. The look of the computer should sell it. It does have the whole RGB. I have the fan set to blue, same thing with the power supply, and that's kind of what attracts. I could put a Lenovo, HP, Dell, and pop in a decent graphics card for gaming, and it would be spec'd out 2 to 3 times better than this, and that computer will sit. But something like this will sell real quick. Number one, because of the RGB. Number two, because of the case and just the look and design. So unfortunately, people do judge a book by its cover. And like I've said, some may argue a 750 Ti, DDR3, and an i7 4th gen, they're still good, they're still viable, they got plenty of beans in it. And honestly, if I was to put a 1070 in this, which is actually my go-to lately, the 1070 would definitely complement this and make this run a lot better, as the 750 Ti is just kind of enough to get your feet wet, in my opinion, on that, but it does do okay job. So comment down below, let me know your thoughts, concerns, criticism, questions. Was it worth it? Would you even mess with it? Was it a waste? Are we wasting time in it? I like those questions. I definitely enjoy those comments. I definitely learn a lot from you guys. So if you like this video, definitely hit the like button, subscribe if you're not, and as always, we'll see what we come up with next.